Like me, when me at the stand, so I get 8 children. I don't know how now I manage to.
It's really affecting us so much.
Very irritating.
We are suffering, fighting with the
out of hand. The government needs to come to our aid because
Government can also do a lot of
the pressure on the US to reduce prices will naturally come down for you.
very much increase.
to the views of market women and traders. And here we are at Abaku Road, the center of Uyo City, Akwa Ibom State. And today we'll be looking at the Nigerian economic crisis and how it has affected our road transport workers. I would want to talk to them to know their view and their opinions on how this fuel scarcity is really telling on them. So come with me so we'll talk to some of them and hear their own opinion on how we do this.
Yo que guy bo vene Canada because ndanyo ne ba vene do ke fuel nanyo ne kisi de fuel e ba 87 naira ide de fuel 160 150 nda do nam nyen se bi ka do wari wat me we ro ka ke ba ri za sa de customer si ba ba na se am boy bon no ba ban bo ri don chama mo ko ro awi se na ke se na ba go ro because of nda ro fuel e so we bo vene je ti my đó cái so với là sang của bên nhau vì có sống ta có tiền xem mình đi đó government bang nam qua vậy đó mà government ấy xem qua bang especially đến những cái bang nhiều cái mình những cái bộ phận này gì and passenger cái gì đó cái những tao qua với đi sang của good vậy nam ấy một số ngày nam ya quên lại đồ normal price so that mấy wo rama na move na cái gì.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, dear.
How's work? Sir, can I ask you a few questions? Okay, I want to ask you questions on the current Nigeria economic crisis, how it affects your work, like your transports worker, right? I want to have your view or your opinion on how it affects you. Are you okay with the whole situation and how do you cope?
Oh well, my dear, we are not fine with this situation. The situation is not helping us. It's very difficult, and it makes us to not to have money. The whole money we are suffering goes for fuel. Because the fuel you buy 1 liter of fuel today was 2.5 liters of yesterday. So the whole money you do for the whole day gone for the fuel. At the end of the day, you go home with nothing. Now, the passengers are suffering, spending the money all for transport without nothing, and they are fighting us. We are suffering, fighting with the passengers, and also we pity them because they pay double of what they used to pay before. Yeah. So they are not happy with us. They abuse us. They call us all sorts of names that they do call. You become enemy with a fellow friend because of the increase of the money. For example, look at what is happening there.
Wow. Let's go there and take a look at what's happening. Let's really understand the problem. Wow, this situation is really getting out of hand. The government needs to come to our aid because people can't continue fighting every day, and every day they keep fighting. Something needs to be done. Nigerian government, you need to hear this. Something needs to be done. Thank you.
Legendary beats.
The economic situation rather, it has really taken a bad turn on me personally, because right now there's so much inflation in the system and we're paid 19,800. When you go to the market to purchase anything you want to buy, you discover that there is an inflation. The prices of all the commodities are now high, so we can no longer do those things we were doing before when the dollar price especially was still at the minimum. So right now I think it calls for a national emergency for all the appropriate authorities, the president, the minister for economy, finance, and all those people who are responsible to come together, go back to the drawing table and see what they can do to ratify or at least to ameliorate this situation, because it is really getting out of hand. Coppers are suffering. 19,800 is barely enough, not to talk of now that things are very expensive. So it's terrible. I don't know, sincerely, I don't want to say I am losing confidence in the administration, but I still believe that they can do, they have something to offer. So basically they need to go back and see what they can do on this issue. That's my take.
And so far, I have to say I'm enjoying the Buhari administration, because I feel like it's going to be better in the long run. But based on the fuel scarcity and the dollar increase, we can no longer order for expensive things, so that one we have casted. Then the fuel scarcity has been difficult because it's infringing on our alawi and everything. But so far, the NYC experience has been great. Thank God.
I'm not happy about this government. This government of change, I don't understand. I don't see our president as a leader. I see him as a ruler, and he is very, very authoritative. This change, we are hoping for a positive change, but we're seeing a different change. And I am being affected to this change negatively, because before, if I'm taking keke from this point to the next point, something that is 13 naira is now 16 naira. So this change has affected me drastically. If I want to refill my gas, the amount in which I used to fill my gas the price has been increased, has been inflated. Everything around me has changed negatively.
The administration of Buhari and their agitation for change has actually been on the negative side, in the sense that we the youths have no hope. Now we keep hearing change, but all that comes to our mind is fear. We don't know which way to go or what to think anymore. Fuel is on the high side, dollar has increased, everything is tight, there's no cash. And then, obviously, unemployment. We have over 4,000 coppers in batch B. And our question is, after service, what next? No jobs, no money, business ideas everywhere, no way to implement them. Now, how has change affected us positively? I haven't seen that. I would still stand for transformation other than change.
My name is Anita Opion. I'm the one operating Just Right restaurant. I just want to say that the high cost of fuel and its scarcity is really affecting us. That whatever you want to buy, things are so expensive. Pepper is expensive, Maggi, everything, rice, all that we used to use, they are so expensive. So we are trying to beg the government to see what they can do to change the situation of things. Let them make it to be as it used to be before.
Wait, Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So please, what and what do you have?
We have bitter leaf, white soup and rice soup for each.
Okay. What are the prices?
It's not 500 naira.
Madam, the thing is so high now. Please. Bring it down.
Are you new in this country? This world scarcity, are you not aware?
Madam, the thing is so high now. Please. Bring it down.
The price of oil is too high too.
It's too high.
So
food can also be higher.
Because it has affected all the things.
Madam, I ate here last week now, but it wasn't so. I ate 300 naira plate. Why is it 500 now?
It's because when we went to buy things, everything has gone up.
Madam, give us 2 plates of rice and please make it faster.
Even our customers, they are really complaining because we can't sell it the way we used to sell before. Since things are expensive, we too, we have increased our own rates and it now affects them and they are complaining. So we hope that things will change.
Hi, my name is Lewicha Akonyewiro and we are here at Akbanandem Market, one of the major markets in Uyo City, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. And today we want to take the views or the opinions on traders, buyers and sellers on the recent economic crisis of Nigeria. Thank you. Good afternoon, Ma. And how are you doing?
I'm very fine.
Ma, please, I would like to know how the current Nigerian economic crisis has affected you, your buyers, and your market.
My sister, I know this small. Like me, when I dey start, so I get 8 children. I don't know how I manage to feed them because the arena, as I talk with you now, 2 cups, 100 naira. So now we say, this is our governor. We say, I think come, so we can't like and well. No matter we say this type and the market, they do well. They even the airport because before ticket in the day cost now they don't come down the ticket, everything they normal. You see we in the airport with the sell small thing go fit children. Don't know how to supposed to do. So you see what they now something come cost well because of this fuel. This one matter when they buy fuel 100 naira. When 90 naira, now fuel is 250 naira. Before you go pay transport, go buy this good now. Now this go when they buy 8,000. Now this good now is 19,000. Now we see this small good now. So before you go buy and come sell, come get small thing, you go buy a garden for your children. It's very, very expensive and you go suffer well. So now we don't suffer too much. So now because the fun is still high.
Boss on. Where maximum of Iram, where someone get and go for the middle. Where someone like the we would be about to go with Araki, Madam to the war. We are in the magazine in those days, but Iram, 1,000. I guess it's 500. Well, I mean, that could change. So, in the other change, maybe they work again. Probably saw some. I'm going to change every day. I'm going to I mean, then the young distance make it a car, then again, like a years and we bang avion.
It's strongly affecting the business because the cost of the transport has drastically increased from what we have been paying before, say from Lagos down here. Because most of the things we do sell here is purely foreign, as you can see. We tend to pay before like 3,000 something meant to Lagos, but now we are paying up to like 6,000. Then the cost of the transport also on the goods has so much increased. So it's been wonderful. It's really affecting us so much. And of course, what else do we have to do? We have to now impose such this thing, of course, the fraction of it to the final consumers, because we cannot take the burdens alone. Naturally, you cannot expect that we have to take the burden alone. So we are sharing it.
I can say like 200, 150, but idam, I don't know, 800. Make one shake on some of our fuel.
We can't do whatever, very bad now. I guess they're back. We call me able fuel and all this over. And you say, give them call me so we can we them born and did it. We hold one song right it. Customer, a city. See, I come me back. I mean, the Gina and did it. And you know, I'm also what we can need all them born and I did not say. So very hard now. I can't.
We've heard the views from the market women and traders, and in their opinion, the prices of commodities has escalated. This has not only affected them, it has also affected the final consumers. Now that we have heard the views of the market women and traders, we'd also want to hear from authoritative figures to enlighten us more on the Nigerian economy. My name is Lewichi Akonyewiro, reporting from Empire Film.
You can't blame that on it happens. They will have times of recession in any government or any country, and that happens when there are changes worldwide in certain things. For example, Nigeria was dependent or is still dependent a greater percentage on the crude oil. Nigeria sells crude oil, get the money and distribute to all the states and keep some. That forms part of the budget of Nigeria, and it also forms part of the budget of all the states of the Federation. So the crude oil price fell from above $100 per barrel to, even went down to 30-something dollars per barrel. So the revenue coming into the country that is being shared by the federal government and all the states had to come down. So that is the reason for the, if you call economic crisis, that is the reason. Now what you should be talking about is how do you work to minimize this? And the federal government had presented a budget to the National Assembly. That was some months ago, but I think the budget is still there. So, and the federal government cannot do much if that budget is not passed, because if they do beyond what they can do when the budget is not passed, they will hold the president responsible for operating without a budget. I think it's ignorance of, when people are not in a particular place, they've not been there or they've not read, they don't read much about how governance, under certain situations, how they operate. They may tell me to be jamboree, but I don't think so. At every trip the president goes, there's always a reason for going to that country. Or would you say that Obama just went to some countries recently, went to Britain, went to about 2 other countries, he was passing from one country to the other? Is that a jamboree? So Nigeria has been ostracized by the world for a long time because of corruption government corruption and corruption by the people. So the president has to go to those countries and tell them that this is a new Nigeria, and every trip he comes back with something positive. I don't know what they want the president to do. Should he be? Is he the minister of? The ministers are there to do their work, and are doing their work. It's not the president traveling that matters. It's for the National Assembly to pass the budget that the president presented to them, and that's how the ministers will take on and administer. The job of the president is to supervise the ministers and make sure they do the right thing. The only aspect of the budget is petroleum, which he has a minister of state, and that, as I know, the president is the chief marketing officer of Nigeria. He chooses to do that. Okay. Yeah. Improvement. Let me explain. I think we're spending 1 trillion, or is it 1 or 2 or 3 trillion for only one product, which is petrol. We are not spending 1 kobo again. All that money is plugged back to other sectors that need it. You don't need to spend that kind of money and put it in the hands of few people who import fuel. So what they are trying to do is to make sure that there is no subsidy. That money they use as subsidy. I think they were, even at a time when they reduced the subsidy and they said Shopee. I don't know whether Shopee got to you. So what they're doing now is, luckily the price of there's no increase in fuel price. Okay. What do you have? NNPC and some marketers, the known ones like Total and others, they're selling at the right price, okay. 86 naira 50 kobo. But the independent marketers out of Nigeria not importing the right quantity as it were, maybe because of foreign exchange and all that. They capitalize on this to make money out of the situation. They still lift the petrol at the prices they should lift and sell at 87 naira. But because there's a shortfall and people panic and they have to sell at the price they're selling. So there's no increase. When once government addresses the situation, which they said they have, and in a few weeks or 1 week's time, it will normalize. It will get to the price it's supposed to be. So the increase in price of petrol is artificial, caused by the businessmen in that business. I wouldn't want to insult Nigerians. I wouldn't want to insult Nigerians. Anybody that prefers corruption does not understand what corruption is. You don't even have to talk much. Corruption is not part of what should happen. It's possible they had a period of time where money was just coming from money was just being spread around, yeah, without people working for the money. It cannot last. If that continued, and when the money would have finished, it would have been worse than what it is now. This government just came and put a stop to corruption. So what it means is that free money is no more there. That free money that was supposed to be there for a period of time, it just stopped. Apart from that, if the National Assembly had approved the budget, in the budget you had a lot of things that would have cushioned the effect of this hardship. You had the meal for primary and secondary school students per day. You had 5,000 to be paid for very low people who are poor. You had empowerment for youths and women or everybody to start their own small businesses or improve their businesses. You had employment for graduates who will be posted to primary schools and secondary schools for a period of time. They will teach them until they get other jobs. You had building of infrastructure, railroads, like the controversial Calabar-Lagos Railroad, Lagos-Kano, the second Niger Bridge, a whole lot of infrastructure that will automatically create employment. So if the budget is passed and all these monies, I would say plural, coming to the system, it would have cancelled the hardship because they will still see money coming in. But this one, corruption has been stopped. The budget has been stalled by the National Assembly. I think that's why there's a Occupy National Assembly that started today. Because the main problem of the budget is the National Assembly. They went and put almost 500 billion on their own. They are not the executive. They are not supposed to do budgets. They are supposed to either approve or disapprove and give reasons for disapproving it. They are not the ones to go and allocate money in the budget. So that has been the problem. So the federal government, as they were stopping the corruption, they plan to put in so much money into the system to counter the withdrawal of dirty money and put in genuine money. But the genuine money has not come in. So that is the reason. So a lot of people are ignorant of this because they don't even know how the economy runs. They don't know that the government can inject, could be money or certain things into the economy to get the people to be comfortable. The government can also do a lot of things, managing the economy through certain means, but they are handicapped. So that's what is affecting, and they don't have this information, which is, our system, we don't have a lot of educated people, so they don't even understand what is happening, why they don't have money in their hands. What advice do I have for the government? The only people I should advise is the National Assembly to please pass the budget because we are suffering. It's the National Assembly, they should pass the budget. They should pass the budget that the executive gave to them to pass. If they don't want to pass it, they should tell us why. So, there's what they call lobby. In developed countries, lobby is legal. They don't give money to lobby. Certain things they do, which is legal. They do certain things to get things done. But here, you want to go and lobby them, they will ask you for money. So, I'm not there, but the federal government, the executive should find a way to get the budget out from those people. That's just what I can say.
Thank you very much.
Hurry up, please, let's go.
Mommy, I want egg.
Oh my baby, I'm sorry, there's no egg today. But don't worry, you get egg tomorrow, I promise you.
Sweetheart, why aren't you dressed yet?
I'm not going to the shop today. This dollar thing is affecting my sales. I can't even restock, and even when I do, customers complain of the price. It's taking a break.
I'm sorry, dear. I just hope this economic thing gets better soon.
I hope so.
Alright. That's my girl. Alright, kids, chop chop. Let's go. Go in. Come on.
Come on, let's go. I'm getting late. Take your
Come on, don't worry.
Daddy, why aren't you using the car today?
Sorry, girl. There's no fuel in the car, okay? We're gonna use keke today, okay?
Mom, I've never been in a keke before.
Don't worry, we'll manage. Let's go. Come on. It won't happen again, eh? That's my boy.
The spiking prices of goods and services in Nigeria cannot be attributed to exchange rate only, though exchange rate is at the foundation of the hike. I would like us to understand how exchange rate plays a part in it. We have just one source of foreign exchange, which is our major export, which is crude oil. And Nigeria is not actually a producing country. Our balance of payment in international trade is in deficit, which means we import more than we export. So constantly there's pressure, as in there's demand, constant demand for the US dollar. And that, for instance, in satisfying our quest for foreign goods, you understand, we don't have too much of foreign reserves. So when the new administration took over, the administration of General Buhari, he felt Nigeria should not be financing our taste for luxury, with the country's reserves. So there were a bit of restrictions on foreign exchange. At the same time, these restrictions spilled over into the downstream oil and gas sector because we don't produce refined petroleum products. So, and there's foreign exchange restrictions. Most marketers could not get US dollars to import products. Along the line, there were increases in the prices of refined products, and it affected other sectors of the economy. Like in banking, you spend more on diesel cost. For the average woman that goes to Oron to buy crayfish, she has to pay more in transport cost. Transportation will increase. So basically, it's a whole lot of complex relationships. You understand, but fine, the exchange rate is the major factor, but our taste for foreign goods also is a major factor. But with time, I think the government will get it right. We will produce more, and we'll be able to bring down the pressure on the US dollar. The federal government right now will not devalue the dollar, because President Buhari is not a firm believer in devaluation. That is his position. And recently he went to China, and there's an agreement in principle on a currency swap agreement with the Chinese. And the extent of the agreement we don't know, but the basics of that agreement is that since Nigeria does most of its transactions with the Chinese, about 80% of our imports are from the Chinese, General Buhari wants a situation where we do our transactions directly with Chinese in their national currency without having to force exchange to the USD, then pay them in USD. So it will ease the demand for the US dollar. I don't think in the foreseeable future General Buhari would devalue the naira. He would rather look for avenues to maybe sign more bilateral swap agreements and ease Nigeria's demand for the USD.